Hi everyone, and welcome to Raw Spirituality, Health and Wellbeing with me, Amelia Campbell and Anne Campbell.
Hello everyone.
This is our third instalment of this series, and we had a few technical difficulties, so we're back on track now, and we're going to continue with my mum's story that we started yesterday. So where did we get to?
Well, we got to arriving in Arillis the day before the autumn equinox. That's the 22nd of September of last year, 2014. I was pretty tired and didn't have a very good night's sleep that night. Anyway, lots of things. We were talking last time about how, particularly at night time actually, things that worry us or bother us, or things that are long gone, that have upset us or disturbed us, can just come up into the mind. And that night of the 22nd of September was a night of constant regurgitation of old stuff, memories, things that maybe felt uncomfortable, decisions made that I wondered if they were the right decisions at the time, but also a lot to do with my marriage, and particularly with my divorce. And I was actually staying in the apartment that my ex-husband had organised and bought. So he was very much on my mind at the time.
And I just remember the following morning, after you hadn't had much sleep at all, if any, and I'd given up my space so my mum could have the bed, and I slept on the sofa, and you came in the morning and you were worn out and were concerned that you were going to spend the rest of the day feeling really tired. And
the most lovely thing, Amelia, was that you were just totally accepting of me. There was no hint of criticism, just the fact that we could just relax, and there wasn't any pressure on me to do anything, to be anything. You gave me permission just to be, in actual fact, that day.
yeah.
Which was pretty amazing. I felt like I was in a little world of my own, because I was so overtired and a little bit upset, and just very much in all the mire of the mind stuff that had come up. But Amelia, you suggested I had a shower and got ready, and that we could wander down to towards the beach.
I kind of saw it that there was no restrictions, there was no boundaries, and if you needed to go to sleep at any point in the day to catch up, then that's what you needed to do. I didn't see it, it wasn't a problem for me, but I know that it felt like it was a problem for you at that moment. So we decided that we were going to walk down to the beach and get up, get dressed, just make the most of the day really, and just relax with it all, and not be concerned about how much sleep we had or hadn't had, or what had kept you off, or how you were feeling. It was just about relaxing into that and not worrying about it.
That was just wonderful. And the amazing thing was, it was now the autumn equinox, and as we stepped outside the door of the apartment, we realised that there was an absolute hurricane in process outside. The palm trees were roaring, the wind was just whipping everything up. The whole atmosphere was that everything was on the move. Everything was in a state of flux. And although it didn't occur to me at that moment, looking back, Amelia, I realised that the outside was certainly a reflection of my inner state of mind at that time.
Exactly. So it was incredibly windy, beautiful day, very warm, but very, very windy. And the wind was the kind of wind that you know that it's got something to tell you, that there's a message in it somewhere.
The winds
you
have
have
changed,
to listen.
maybe.
Yeah, we realised something was shifting, something was changing, and it was an opportunity. And we walked down to the beach, and it was beautiful, and we took some photos, and we just relaxed, and then we walked all the way along the front of the beach and back to the apartments, and we walked back in silence pretty much, which is what I felt I needed to do, but I didn't even need to voice that opinion to my mom. It was just instinctive. We just fell into silence, and we were...
Every now and again I stopped and just looked at the most amazing flowers that were surrounding us. It was September time, but there were a lot of flowers in bloom, wildflowers, flowers in gardens, trees that were flowering, and my world seemed to have become very, very tiny. There was just me and the flower, the beauty of the flower. And we continued on our journey, and I kept stopping, and Amelia waited for me, and then we arrived back at the apartments.
And I decided that I was going to do some sunbathing or just chill out for a while, and Mum decided that she wanted to go and have a rest and catch up on that sleep, which I thought was a great idea. And I very much trust, especially here, here seems more obvious somehow in Amelia, that everything is totally divinely guided, and whatever's happening is perfect. And I knew that even if my mum went to have a rest, I would probably have some kind of interesting afternoon happening, you know, which was true. I sat on the sun lounges, and so many different people came up to me and chatted to me, and we had lots of sharing. And as soon as that sharing finished, I felt kind of compelled to go and see where my mum was. And I walked into the apartment, and there was a feeling, a deep sense of emptiness in the apartment, and I couldn't feel that my mum was actually there, although I'd looked in her apartment and she wasn't there, so it was where else could she be?
What had happened was I'd had a couple of hours sleep that afternoon, a deep, deep, peaceful sleep. And I woke up still feeling very peaceful, very relaxed. And as I stood up in the bedroom, I heard these words. Everything arises from beingness, and everything dissolves into beingness. There is nothing that is not beingness. Beingness is God. And those words were not words that were in my mind, but words that somehow penetrated the whole of my being, right into the depths of my being. And as I walked to the door, I felt that something significant was happening, that I was in the middle of something that was important. And then I saw Amelia. And she said to me,
I walked through the door of the apartment, and after feeling that there was nobody there, my mum opened the bathroom door, that's where she was, and she was stood right in front of me, and I saw the beauty of her being. I saw that something had shifted, something had changed, that
she said to me, you look
realised.
so beautiful, Mum. And I just said, something's happening, Amelia. And she said, let's go and sit on the sofa. So we did, side by side.
And I recognised something. When I saw my mum at the bathroom door, I recognised something that I'd experienced myself. And I knew that this was a very important time and that I needed to support my mum in that space. So I asked her if we could go and sit down. And she told me the words that she'd heard that filled her being. And I felt this space open up, this beautiful, expansive space. Now, it's now, the truth of now. The presence, God's grace opened up. And we rested in that. And my mum, I watched my mum fall into that space. It was very, very beautiful and a wonderful sharing and a great recognition for me to see that space and to see my mum fall into it. It was very, very beautiful, very touching.
And as I rested deep within myself, I felt and knew that there was nothing, no thing there, that it was emptiness, pure emptiness. And it struck me as being such an amazing place to be, because there was no suffering, no thoughts, no emotions. And in actual fact, I realised that there was no mind, that is the pureness of my being, and the pureness of the being of each one of us, of course. And that there was no judgment, there was no expectation. All there was simply acceptance and a state of being whole. And I began to laugh. I began to laugh because it seemed like everything that I'd been through in my life, all the suffering, all the games that the mind plays, all the negative thoughts, judgmental thoughts, that they weren't real. They had no substance, that they dissolved just as everything dissolves in and through God's grace. And so we are not defined by those things at all, not in reality. We are simply beings of light, experiencing and expressing God in all his diversity, through all our unique ways. And that was so simple and so beautiful and so amazingly, just amazingly wonderful, and such a relief, a massive relief.
I felt my part was to just be there and to be present for you in that space and to hold